Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks! What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got a really interesting knife unboxing to share with you guys. I know exactly what's in here because I've already been in it, and actually I already recorded the unboxing, but it was a mess. I missed a bunch of critical stuff, and I want to give you guys my actual honest first impressions based on what is actually inside the box. It'll make sense here in a second. Thanks so much to the gentleman who sold me this. These were available at, I think, microtechgear.com or something like that. Currently, as of the time of this recording, these are sold out, but I expect them to do more of them. Thanks so much to my patrons for supporting me, and please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. Okay, so what is it? You probably already know. This is a collaboration between Microtech and Rike. This is the brand new Microtech Anax Integral. So these are not made by Microtech. They are made by Rike, which is a production company in China. This is the same company that did the SOCOM Bravo, and you can see kind of the similarity there. So part of the reason why I'm redoing the unboxing is because I was like, oh my gosh, they did the, the cool looking but basically useless triangle shaped, the tri-wing or whatever, the triangle screws. And I was just complaining and complaining. Well, stupid me did not initially look in the box. They actually give you the both the pivot screw and the handle screws, and it's 1/4 inch, so you can just use it with pretty much any driver. So that's great. There's some other stuff in that box, and we're going to talk about it. So that was stupid of me. Truthfully, I'll tell you this. It's easier for it to just be Torx. This is not a review. It's just first impressions. I'll do the review down the road. It's easier to do Torx. Initially, I had noticed that it looked like the blade was a little bit off center, and I actually did manage to get it center. But the problem is when I went to, can we even see it? It's not really that big of a deal. This is mine now. I hate these like weird heads that are really shallow, because if your tool slips, this is brand new. It didn't have a mark on it until it came to me. If your tool slips, then you're going to scratch it. I scratched it. Whatever. Truthfully, I planned to carry and use this because I was really hoping that the carry profile was really good, and it is. The ergonomic lines are really good. And I was also hoping that the edge was substantially thinner than the SOCOM Bravo, and it is. There's a big fuller here, but the blade stock is much thinner. Nicely crowned, by the way. You can see it right there. Big old fuller thing in there, but the actual cutting edge is definitely thinner, making it a little bit easier day to day. I really like the way that you deploy the blade. It was funny, I watched the video on the Microtech Knives website, and they were like, it's got multiple means of deployment. You can wheel it out like this, or you can front flip it. And he was accurate. I like that guy. That's the X-Ring guy. But seriously, you're not going to demonstrate the reverse? I mean, that's what literally 99.9% of people looking at this knife, they're thinking, I bet that makes for a real nice reverse flick. They just ignored that you could do that. I mean, you can kind of flick it out that way. You can absolutely wheel it out like this, and it makes a, it's an okay front flipper. You can do it. It's not super comfortable. The detent mostly wants you to reverse flick it. That's where it's the best. So, some things that I like about it. It's an integral. This means that the entire frame was milled from a single block of titanium. And whether or not that is of any value to you, it factually costs more money, right? So these are going to be more expensive. If they were to, this is the Anax, by the way, if you didn't know, was actually a design from Microtech from a long time ago. And they were really expensive back then. If they were to try to do exactly this, and I don't mean just like slap some titanium and M390 together, I mean exactly this, with all this chamfering and polishing and all these milling lines in here. If they tried to do this and make it in the United States, I'm going to guess that it would be at least $800. And I think I'm honestly on the lighter side of that. These came in at $450. So when we're talking about a Chinese-made, like a really high-quality Chinese-made integral knife, I think of like Riot's integrals, which generally land, if they're not being crazy, or it's not some other design, it's not some other company using them as an OEM and just trying to sell you some type of culture, James brand, then they come in at about $450 to $500. So price is on point. Couple of things that I noticed after the video. At first I was like, what is this weirdness in here? Why does like the carbon fiber seem to kind of warp, right? There's a couple of, I don't know what these little white specks are. I don't know if they're like fibers starting to poke out. It feels nice and smooth. It doesn't look the best, but this warped, it looks like it's warped. There's actually a bump on both sides of the frame there. So yeah, the carbon fiber looks okay. It's not terrible, but it's definitely not the most spectacular carbon fiber I've ever seen, right? The little white specks in there are honestly the biggest eyesore, but I can deal with that. There was another thing that I noticed, and this is something that I've heard from a lot of people. This is not actually the case with this knife. At first I was like, oh my gosh, is there like rust on the flat? And no, it's just like little spots that are probably where they polished. If they used a belt or something, it might have just been a little like they kind of burned it a little bit. I don't like to see that, not for that much money, right? Most of these, you know, I mean, I've seen a few on Instagram, and then like my Bravo, this thing came absolutely perfect. I have heard from some people that this bead blast finish can, you know, cause rusting, and then people have reported that, and I mean a few people have reported, and I've got some questionable spots on my blade. Yeah, I think that Microtech should ditch this finish. This one does not have any pits or doesn't have any signs of corrosion or anything forming, but truthfully, that is the case with bead blasted blades in general, even if you are talking about a stainless composition. Why? Because it makes little micro pockets in the surface of the steel, and those little pockets they trap moisture, microscopic amounts of moisture, I think a little bit better, and it's just more susceptible to corrosion, right? Surface corrosion. A better finish is one that has a higher polish to it, because then you're less likely, you know, no matter what the composition is, you're just more like, if you take 3V and you bead blast it, you take 3V and you mirror polish it, well, the mirror polished one is going to, you know, resist corrosion better. Same way with M390. M390 is a stainless composition, but if you bead blast it and then you put it up against one that's mirror polished, well, the mirror polished M390 is definitely going to resist corrosion better. So this is okay. I've seen this before, this little, you can see if I turn it this way, it's all, you know, it's definitely all still satin, but that just looks like a zit, 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 you know, and it wasn't the best looking thing in the entire world. I also do not like these freaking ball bearing clip. It's like aggressively hanging on to your pants, right? Like this thing is so aggressively in your pocket. I mean, if you're a mountain climber, if you're a ninja, if you're somebody who back handsprings to work every day, this thing is not going to come out of your pocket. Cool. Kind of makes it a bummer to put in and out of your pocket all the time. I mean, I want to carry this, and the retention on the clip is super tight, and that ball is so pinchy. Not my favorite type of clip. So as far as first impressions go, this is a super high quality item, and the action, by the way, if you haven't been watching me, is very good. I tightened this up a little bit and adjusted it to get the centering back. You can't use the typical trick with the body screws because it's an integral, which means the screws that are in the body are holding in things like, you know, that's the, I believe that's the exterior stop pin, and you know, it might be the interior. It's probably the interior stop pin as well. But what was I saying? I started to, the knife is made very well. The action is very good. It's smooth. It was a little smoother when I got it, but it was slightly off center, so I had to add some 10-weight nano oil. I'm going to carry this thing. This is mine now. The gentleman who sold it to me, he sold me a brand new one. I watched him unbox it. Everything is perfect. It's not used or anything like that. I can tell by the edge, right? But the thing was ever so slightly off center, so I've got some 10-weight in it, and I'm just going to kind of carry it and use it and see if it smooths up a little bit. I think I can probably get it completely and totally drop shut, but as of right now, it's kind of, it almost feels like kind of how I Riat knife, and I understand, you know, I'm not making an error there. I'm not meaning to say Rike and saying Riat. This is made by Rike, but anybody who's bought a brand new Riat, they're a little bit tight at first, and then they kind of have to break in, right? This is also exactly how this one was when I first got it. And now, whew, that thing is super smooth. So I'm guessing that that will end up being the case. This, of the two collaborations they've done, is definitely the more EDC friendly. It is shorter in terms of the close length. It is also thinner. I don't think it's by much. Yeah, I might be wrong about. I mean, the thickest part of this. Oh boy, maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. This just feels like a substantially chunkier knife, right? The blade stock thickness, though, definitely a little bit thinner, and the end result for the overall geometry of the blade is one that is thinner at the edge. This is a lot more friendly to the hand, and as much as I don't like the pocket clip for, what it's supposed to do, which is hold the knife in your pocket, it's not a hot spot. It's definitely designed in a way that, using this knife and bearing down on it with your bare hands is going to be pretty darn comfortable. I really like the blade. I really like how these edges are done right here. I think this looks really nice. I like this double jimping zone up here. That's really cool. And I love the crowning and how this fuller comes out and just sort of ends right there in this little slot right here. It all looks really, really good. This one was born July of 2022, so just, that's why I say it's kind of obviously brand new. I really like how they did this area back here, these little pockets. I love integral knives in general. So, truthfully, first impressions, not a big fan of the hardware, even though they send you the tools. That's really nice that they send you the tools. I'm glad that I can adjust it if I want. I'd still rather just have Torx. I love the ergonomics, I love the look of the blade. Not super into the bead blasted finish, which actually ended up not being a problem here. But this little area right here on the front, it doesn't look super great with those little burn marks in there. The other side doesn't have them, right? It was, like I said, it was off center when I got it, which was no fault of the person who had it before me. It's just I needed to adjust the pivot there. Something that I'm sure you guys want me to comment on. It comes with two little dingly danglies, and maybe, I don't know, maybe they're tactical dingly danglies, right? These are things that you screw into the back of the knife so that you can okay. You know what this looks like? This looks like something Dr. Robotnik would send after Sonic the Hedgehog, right? Those things, those bees or those hornets from level 1 in Sonic 2, where they're like, nyeh. That's what it makes me think of. So, all right. I'm glad that they gave you the option to attach these if you want to. I mean, I don't want to complain about something that's so easy to just ignore. I don't know who those are for, and I don't know how that helps. But the knife itself, definitely, despite a couple corks, is definitely made well. The action's good, and this should make a really good EDC knife, definitely. So I think that's going to be about it for first impressions. I will definitely give you guys a full comprehensive review a few weeks down the road after I have had a chance to carry and use this and kind of experience it, right? I'm also going to be watching that finish to see if just natural. Of course, I wipe my blades off after I use them, and I definitely, every couple of weeks to a month, I'll add a little bit of oil or something to protect it. But I will be watching that finish to see if my general use is something that is going to cause corrosion, right? Because it shouldn't. I live in Kansas. It's M390. Even if it's bead blasted, the way that I take care of my blades, it should not corrode. But if it does, I will definitely report on it. So anyways, I think that's going to be about it. It's a cool knife. We'll see. Wait for the review. Thanks again to the gentleman who sold this to me. He let me pay exactly what he paid, so that's fine. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex if you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you'd like to check out my other content. I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.